Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Am I the Asshole, a SimplyPodLogical podcast.
Is that our new podcast title?
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Cristine's homemade blueberry scones. You can check those out on SimplyPodLogical. Cristine, I've been looking at the subreddit Am I the Asshole a lot lately. And it occurred to me that a lot of people seem to just post things to make themselves look good. Yes, Zyler. They just want the karma.
They want to be heard, just like Zyler.
They pose a situation where they are clearly not in the wrong, just so other people on the internet can tell them how right they are. So this time, I kind of went out of my way to make sure I found some unreasonable people who didn't realize they were jerks. So we weren't just reading a bunch of situations about other people being jerks.
Who are definitely jerks.
You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. So you're looking for people with less insight into the fact that they're jerks? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and I want to say welcome back, Ben. We decided to have you back on the podcast. Sorry you couldn't make it last time. We didn't have time to have you on last week when we replaced you with Jen.
Well, I was on vacation. I submitted my leave request into Cristine, my supervisor, and she approved it. So
yeah, but you were not approved for the following week. So Here he is again. Welcome back, Ben. We missed you.
Called back into work. Zyler, did you miss me?
He did.
All right, first one. Am I the asshole for buying my boyfriend birthday gifts?
What?
My boyfriend turned 21 last week, and I bought him a new video game he had been wanting and a t-shirt. He started ignoring me and leaving me on red after that. I asked him what was wrong, and he finally said it was unfair that I got him birthday presents because now he's going to have to get me something for my birthday and that I'm being manipulative. I told him, no, you don't have to get me anything for my birthday, but I'd like to spend some time with you that day. But he said that was a dick move that I got him gifts. He says that I was trying to make him feel obligated. I told him it is the thought that counts and that he doesn't have to get me anything, but if that he does, I'd be happy with just a card because he keeps saying he's unsure he can deal with a materialistic girlfriend. Was it wrong that I got him gifts? I can't understand anymore.
I think there's a lot of information missing.
No, I don't think.
No. There definitely is. Yeah, there's so many things that could have been going on that are not said, such as the boyfriend is accusing her of being materialistic. Is that because of what her purchases were? Like, did she get him a Gucci t-shirt and such items that he wouldn't have worn as the t-shirt?
You want to talk about Gucci
No,
some
I'm
more?
just saying, for example, like maybe there's things like that she's not acknowledging that he really doesn't like and has expressed. The other point is if they had previously agreed to not exchange gifts for their birthdays, maybe for financial reasons, a lot of people will agree, let's not get gifts for each other this Christmas or birthday because, like, we're just not in the right financial situation. If one person violates that, it puts the other person in a really tough spot, and it's kind of, like, unfair. So if they'd made that agreement, then I would be more inclined to see this as, like, kind of a dick move. But we don't have enough information because we're seeing it from her point of view.
I appreciate that you're searching for a reasonable take on the other side here, but I feel like most people's reaction to this isn't to be as considerate as you. Because, like, okay, it's a video game and a t-shirt. I'm not assuming it's an $800 Mickey Mouse
you just
Gucci
never know.
t-shirt. Maybe it is. I agree with you, though, that in a partnership, you want to sort of be on the same page in terms of gift giving. Yeah. And yeah, it would be really frustrating if you agreed to no gifts, like you say. And then one person just surprises you with a bunch of gifts, and it's like,
fuck,
sort of violating our verbal contract, you know? Mm-hmm. You're a little weird about gifts, though, so I'm not totally shocked that you don't have the same reaction I think most people have to the situation. Like, I've told you, like, I don't really care about birthdays before, and you think I'm lying. Do you want to get into that?
No, well, you are. You tell me you don't care about birthdays, and I interpret that as the same way I don't care about birthdays. I don't want a bunch of gifts, and I've said that, like, I don't care. And sometimes we've agreed to, like, not get gifts in the past. But then when your birthday rolls around, you're always, like, sad that there isn't some big party or big gift, and I'm like,
no,
or whatever, I don't know, more things going on, and then I'm like, well, you said you don't care.
It's just not the
So you do care.
It's nice to, I don't know. I guess knowing that your partner puts some thought into it, wanting to
But
make
you
your birthday
literally
special.
said don't put effort because we're so busy and we're just doing other things.
I feel like you're adding some details to that. I don't know. I don't really care about birthdays. I don't want a birthday party. But yeah, it's nice to, make that day feel a little special or something. I don't know. I don't really
Okay, so
care.
you care about your birthday. I don't.
You really don't, eh?
I really don't.
I think a lot of people say that and they don't really mean it, but you really mean it.
Yeah. I don't need a party. I don't need gifts. I like events where there's communal gift giving, like Christmas or like a reason where, everyone brings a bunch of food for whatever. That kind of stuff is more fun to me. I hate it when it's like all about you.
Okay, so what do you want for your birthday?
Nothing. A nail polish.
Okay. We
Anyways,
can probably make that happen.
So what's our conclusion on this? Like, based on the way the poster wrote this, I don't think they're an asshole for buying their partner gifts. However, if we're missing information...
Yeah, but that's true of
That's
any
true of every
scenarios
post,
if you're
okay.
missing information. Given the information presented to us, it is really strange that he had such a visceral reaction to getting a
Which
gift.
leads me to believe that there's something else going on. That's all.
Yeah. The materialism aspect of it is like super weird too.
Well, that's
like
why I think like there's something
you bought me
else
a video
going on.
game, you're materialistic.
Well, it must be the t-shirt. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be some other... Maybe she spends a lot of money on things that he considers to be materialistic. So his criticism is like, you're so materialistic. So we're just not seeing other things going on in their relationship.
Okay, sure. All right, moving on. Am I the asshole because I didn't let my daughter skip a grade? Ooh. My kids are Jonah, 14-year-old boy, and Emma, 12-year-old girl. And my husband is Johnny, who's 40. Emma has always been brighter than is typical for her age. She was reading at age 4, and she's even gone to national competitions.
Reading competitions? Cool.
Are there reading competitions?
That's what I'm like. There's a national reading competition? I don't know. How fast can you read?
We're really proud of her and all she's accomplishing. She's been in a gifted, talented program for a few years now. But her school wants to take it further. They want her to go to 8th grade this year instead of 7th. The thing is, though, Jonah repeated a year, the 6th grade, so he is actually in 8th grade. It was a hard year for him overall. He's a bit ashamed of that year, and it really bothers him that he didn't put in more effort. I don't think it would be good for him if he and Emma share classes, which is very likely because it's a small school. So I declined the skipping grades arrangement and asked if we can just give Emma further enrichment like we've been doing, because she can definitely do 8th grade work. I thought that would be best for both kids. The trouble is that when I told Emma what we decided for her, she didn't take it well. She grew testy, saying Jonah's school placement has nothing to do with her. I told her that I was thinking of both of them when I made that decision. Emma later went to her room in tears, but she wouldn't let me check on her all evening. Johnny, the husband, sided with me, saying it's right that I took both kids into account, but Emma is clearly still bothered, and I really didn't want to upset her. I just wanted to be fair to everyone. Am I the asshole? Does this remind you of anything in your sister pod? Could you imagine if you were held back from an opportunity because Jen wasn't doing as well in dance or in school or anything like that? That would really make you resent your sibling, right?
Yeah, I think my gut reaction is, although I don't want to use the word like asshole, I just think that it would be unfair of the parent to hold back one sibling because the other sibling is doing worse or might feel hurt. I think you just have to prepare the other affected sibling in a way that will make them feel more comfortable, explain it to them, and try and make them feel like okay with the situation. And also make sure that Emma, the more advanced academic in this situation, understands how her behavior could affect her sibling. Like, don't be rude about it, don't rub it in his face, don't embarrass him. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's things you can do, but ultimately I don't think it's fair to either of them, really. Like, who are you really helping here if you're holding back one of the siblings because they're doing well in school, because you don't want to hurt the brother?
Yeah, the mom is suggesting she's taking both of them into account, but it seems to me the decision's being entirely dictated by taking the son into account.
And is that really helping the son? Like, if we're only considering that?
Yeah, I guess it would be weird to be in the same grade school class as
your smarter sister.
your sister who is 2 years
Yeah.
younger than you. Like, I'm
And
not going to
hey,
deny that would be
and
weird.
I get it.
but-
Like, I'm sure that he would experience some, being made fun of by his peers at that age. Of course, that's going to happen.
You know what's weird here too? The mom suggests that the son sort of regretted not trying hard enough in the 6th grade, and that's why he was held back. How old are you in grade 6?
This might be, like, not American, though.
But like,
so who
let's
knows?
assume that's probably like 12. Like, isn't it kind of on the, if you're, there could be a lot of reasons someone is, developmentally delayed for some reason. There could be like legitimate reasons for that, I suppose. But I almost want, it's kind of strange how the parent is saying, like, it's too bad the kid didn't work harder to pass 6th grade.
Okay, yeah, you can't say that about, like, a 12-year-old.
That's
Work
pretty
harder
strange,
to pass
yeah.
your grade. Okay, like, there's a million things that could be going on.
Exactly. Okay, we don't know. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty terrible. And I think the daughter is totally warranted in
To
reacting
be upset,
this way.
yeah. Like, let her advance. You're holding the daughter back now from developing potential, like, even increasing skills. Like, why would you do that? Just to maybe protect the brother? Like, the brother is still going to be hurt because he already perceives his sister as super smart.
And
so it doesn't matter.
There might be other legitimate reasons for not wanting your kid to skip ahead a year, potentially, right? But this reason, I think, is just really misguided. Like, maybe there's a
Yeah.
reason you don't want your kid to jump ahead a year. You want them to take their time and just use other avenues to help, other enrichment programs and such to sort of make them feel better.
Didn't you ever kind of have to make this decision? Like, when you went to Australia, the grades were different. So was there not at some point like which grade should we land him in question?
Yeah, so when I moved to Australia,
You were how old?
I was 10 years old. I think that would have been the 3rd grade, I
So
want to say.
and they're not the same.
So
as
yeah,
Canada,
because their
right?
winter is our summer, their school year is kind of like opposite. It's kind of flipped. So yeah, when we moved there, I had the choice to either kind of go back a few months and kind of start the 2nd grade over again, or just skip right ahead to the 3rd grade.
So
Or
what did
grade
you
3,
do?
4, I can't remember. So we skipped ahead.
Did all your siblings skip ahead?
I think we all did
all
that.
did,
And I think it actually was kind of a stressful thing because I remember landing in Australia and like I vividly remember being in school and they're talking about like, I think it was multiplication tables. And I'm like, they're just doing it. And I'm like, I have never seen this before. And I remember the first little while actually being really tough.
Yeah.
I remember better coming back because then I just sort of reset back a few months.
So it was easier coming back.
Yeah, but then I remember sitting in class and being like, I'm surrounded by a bunch of babies. And I actually think it might explain something about my personality that I felt like I was too good to be in that class. I think that kind of stuck with me a little bit. Not saying that's a good thing. But actually, so that led to, I went into an enrichment program when I came back. And I think a lot of that's just because I had gone a little bit further when I was in school abroad. But actually, you want to know really, this is a tangent about Ben's grade school education.
Tell us.
To get into the enrichment program, you had to do like sort of a series of tests. One of them was so there were 3 metrics.
What's an enrichment program?
So in Canada, just there's different streams. I don't know if this is a controversial topic or not, but like,
A gifted? Is it the same thing as a gifted program?
yeah.
Okay.
Gifted enrichment, I think people use interchangeably. But you just end up in a class with kids who are usually just have richer parents who were
There's
able
a
to
lot
read
of
to them more. Like,
controversy about like how legitimate they are. I don't know much about it. I just remember hearing that as a topic of discussion. But sorry.
okay,
go
but
on.
sorry, yeah, I was doing the test to get into the gifted program, and I did. But the test to get into it, there was 3 components. There was a standardized test. There was an interview with I think a psychologist technically. And then the 3rd thing was the recommendation of your teacher. And so like I was temporarily in the enrichment class while they were doing these tests. So it's the recommendation of the enrichment teacher, the gifted teacher. So that's an important detail because they each get to give like a number of points to determine whether you get into gifted, right? So on the standardized tests, I did fine. The psychologist gave me fine. So let's say like that accounted for 70 of 100 points to get into gifted. And then the teacher gets to decide the last 30 points or so. So I think I had like 69 out of 100 on those first 2 things. So if the teacher had given me 1 point out of 30, I would have gotten into gifted. And the teacher, her first decision was to give me 0 out of 30. Because,
Why?
and our speculation, I think what is obviously the case is that she just was probably overworked and didn't want another student in her class. I actually thought she was a pretty terrible teacher. But the fact that she had the ability to make that decision and she just decided to. So I remember my parents like they had to talk to the school and be like, this is absurd.
Wait,
you know,
so they
like,
really wanted you to be in the gifted program?
well, they just saw how bored I was, or like it was pretty bad being in the non one because I had also gone back in time. You know what I mean?
But you ended up sticking in regular public.
I think they talked to the principal and be like, it is ridiculous that this teacher would decide to allocate like absolutely no.
So did you end up?
So I did end up in the enrichment. That was a long way sort of
Is
explaining
that every class? Like every class is a gifted class? Full of gifted magical students? Or
magic? Yeah, we were all magic.
super smart people?
Were you in the gifted program then?
I was not in the super smart elite class, no.
Yeah, I don't really
I remember taking the test though.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Why is this like, this almost feels like traumatic. I remember being in grade, I don't know, 5, 6, or 7, which is when you're 8 to 10. And like gifted students was so embedded in our discourse. And it was like, are you gifted? Are you going to get in the gifted program? And it was just like all parents were talking about. It was like questions at the parent teacher conference all the time. I just remember it causing me a lot of stress because a lot of my parents' friends had kids that were gifted or that they really wanted to be gifted. So they gave them extra classes. They sent them to Kumon. Do you remember Kumon?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's outside of
I'm aware of
Canada.
that.
So I was sent to Kumon. I fucking hated it and I stopped it. I also got to stop it because we were too busy doing commercial auditions.
Okay.
So I just didn't have time to do Kumon. But I was made to take the gifted test and I remember I got borderline, which I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but ultimately, I guess they could have pushed to send me to another class or school, and I just said, like, I really didn't want to. Like, I remember crying about it.
Oh, I don't remember it being. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a
I don't
big
really know
thing.
why. And, you know, like, maybe there's something in my repressed memories, but I just remember amongst, like, the friends group, it was creating, like, a really big divide, and there was so much pressure from parents to, like, find out if their kids were gifted.
I understand
made
why
me so
parents
uncomfortable.
are pushing for their kids to end up in the class that sort of maybe gets them a bit of a further education. You know what I mean?
I hear you, but I just, like, in the end, I'm not sure what big of a difference that makes for Ontario public schools in our circumstance. I'm not saying it's the same everywhere else in the world.
I think just going to a good school is probably more important.
So I was already in French immersion, which statistics already show, at least in Ontario, that kids in French immersion do better on average in standardized English testing. Because when you learn a language when you're very young, a second language, you develop more like cognitive and linguistic skills, which tends to translate to just like broader ability to learn new skills.
It also might be the case that schools that offer immersion programs also are just schools with better reputations
there's
or
a
better
million
programs,
other reasons.
you know?
So, so I just went to a public school. It was just like, it was a free public school.
Yeah, me
But
too.
there was still pressure to like, oh, did you find out if you're gifted?
And I knew plenty of smart kids who weren't in the gifted program, and I knew some dumb kids who weren't gifted, you know, like, yeah, there's a bit of a game going on here. But yeah, I won't lie, if I was a parent, I'd probably want my kid in a gifted program.
So did any of your siblings get into the gifted program?
Yeah, they were both smarter than me.
So both of your siblings are smarter than you?
Yeah.
But
Well,
you're super smart. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean it to say it like factually. I mean, according to the gifted program in grade 6.
According to the gifted program, I was borderline.
You were
I
borderline.
suppose you
We're
could
both
say.
borderline.
We
Oh,
were
look
both
at that.
borderline.
We're going nowhere.
I just argued my way in, I guess. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, that must have been hard on it, all of you, though, because you're the youngest. So you knew that your older siblings. This kind of goes back to the podcast I had with my sister the other week on just like meeting, like comparing to your siblings. But yeah, to be a student having an older sibling and wanting to make sure you're at least as smart as them according to the standardized metrics of how you measure that, which is usually your school at that time. It can be tough. So you had 2 older siblings who are both incredibly smart. I mean, your brother has a PhD in math. I mean, not when he was 10, but
Not in
I mean, he
grade
could
school.
have. He's so smart, he probably could have got his PhD when he was
Maybe.
12.
I actually don't remember if I cared as much as I just thought it was like deeply unfair the way they were trying to not. I remember that teacher too being like, I had a lot of bad teachers in grade school. And she may have been the worst because it was the kind of teacher that would like, she would just tell us to like, I have so many memories of her just being at the front of the class, basically just like her feet up, like napping in her chair.
Really?
And like us just doing independent study, I think was the word they used.
Oh.
Like I felt like there was not a lot of learning going on in that class even.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a really long
Anyways,
tangent.
we're all gifted
Are
here.
gifted programs controversial things? I think they must still be a
I
thing.
think they've kind of stopped. Like, I don't think they're as common. They're not as commonly pushed or as tested for as they used to be. I remember reading about this a few years ago. And I found it interesting. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments. It's probably different across countries. I have no idea how it is in the States.
I wonder if we sound like dinosaurs.
When we were young in Ontario, this was like pretty common. Everyone was just getting tested. Are you smart enough to be in the gifted program? It was like we just automatically took this test, is from my memory.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Am I the asshole for not wanting my fiance's grandmother, 98 years old, at our wedding? My fiance is 30, a guy, and I'm a 28-year-old woman. We're getting married next month. Everything is going great, but we've been having serious argument about having his grandmother at our wedding. We've agreed to not have kids at our wedding, as we want the reception to be a big party for our adult friends and family with dancing, loud music, and an open bar. However, for precisely the same reasons that we don't want kids there, I don't want his elderly grandmother at our wedding either. I said she can come to the ceremony, but not the reception. It will be extremely loud, and I want it to be a party atmosphere, and she will be extremely out of place. For context, none of his grandparents are still alive. None of my grandparents are still alive. He's not bringing his dead grandmother to the wedding, and he still has his last living grandmother. This has caused a huge fight since she said she has always dreamed about being at her grandson's wedding. He is her oldest grandchild's, and she probably won't make it to the next family wedding, which is why I said that she's more than welcome at the ceremony, but she will just be too out of place at the reception. She and he both insist that she will be fine and wants to go to the party, but I just know it will inevitably lead to us dealing with her and taking care of her, and I just want to get drunk and let loose with my friends. She's not really upset and won't talk to me, and my fiance is also angry. I think I'm within my right to make this request. I am the bride, after all.
I mean, the 98
Am I the bridezilla?
Yeah, the 98-year-old grandmother's not a child, so you've already got your wish. No children at the wedding.
Yeah, but she does make an interesting
alcohol.
point that, babies and really old people kind of start behaving the same.
Okay,
Isn't it an interesting parallel?
I understand what you mean, but I also think it really depends on a case-by-case basis. Like, there are some 98-year-olds who are totally with it and want to come to the party. Maybe even have a glass of beer. I don't know. So if that's the case, like, you leave it up to them to make that decision. If she's tired of all the loud music, which I totally understand, if you're older, maybe you just like can't take that shit for more than 5 minutes. Maybe it's harder to hear, right? To talk to people, and so you're just gonna leave.
What do you think the bride means, like, we'll end up having to take care of her?
So she's probably reflecting on past events where maybe they've had to take care of her and escort her or make her leave.
But the bride and groom aren't going to be doing that.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, isn't there other family?
Unless they will. Like, this seems entirely unreasonable, and obviously you are the asshole answer. Unless this woman has really good reason to believe that the grandmother being there is going to mean they're going to have to turn down the music because it's bothering grandma.
Then grandma's got to go. Like,
right?
Sorry.
That's the only way this is reasonable. If her being there is also then going to lead...
But it shouldn't.
To no one else enjoying it the way they want to enjoy it.
It shouldn't. Like,
I just can't imagine that would be the case.
Grandma should come if grandma wants to come. Uh-huh. If grandma doesn't like the music...
Then grandma's got to go.
Then grandma's got to go. Right?
If
grandma's feeling not well, she can't talk to anyone for whatever reason, she's not liking the environment, then someone may need to help. If she needs help, she needs to go. But that help should not be the responsibility of the bride or the groom on that day. I'm hoping that there's other family or support who can help take care of grandma if grandma needs to go.
Yeah, and
I
grandma
think
can
that's
make
the
her
reasonable
own
one.
decisions, you know? Grandma...
Well, we don't know. Like, there's some 98-year-olds who need other people to help them.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
But I feel it's super callous to be like, this is this woman's dream to see her grandchild have a wedding.
Well,
And to be
they
like,
said she
I
can
want to
come
get
the
drunk, you
ceremony.
can't come.
Like, I
Yeah,
can't, in some ways, I'm trying to understand, like, just to even have that worry that you want to get wasted and then you know someone might need your help and they're right there. To have that put out of your mind can be, like, easier for peace of mind so you can relax. But I also don't, like, we don't know, like, can that grandmother have, I'm sure there's some other social supports or family members who could help out if she needs help, rather than it being the bride's responsibility on her wedding day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that responsibility hopefully does not fall on the bride on that day.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it would.
How many people are at this wedding? Surely someone can help.
But just her being like, just go to the ceremony, that's good enough. I don't think that.
It's up to the individual attending what they can handle. If they hate the party, then they should leave. And if they can't leave because they need help, then they should establish who's going to help beforehand, and it shouldn't be the bride and groom, because I agree they should be able to experience their day. That's all.
Also, do you want to be getting wasted at your own wedding? Is that advisable?
I mean, like, I don't know. Personally, we're not getting married. But even if we were,
If we were
or if
getting
we
married.
cared, like, it's not my style to just want to get completely wasted during a party that's like a celebration with your friends. And I don't know. But I feel so old. If I'm 20 years old getting married, then yeah, I'm getting wasted. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Everyone's different. I also know 30-year-olds, you know, who like to drink and would want to get wasted at their wedding.
This is just a strange scenario in a lot of ways. Like, I don't want grandma there because I want to get blackout drunk at my own wedding.
A lot of people want to get blackout drunk at their wedding or someone else's
Really?
wedding.
You sure about that?
Yeah, those people exist. What do you mean? Are you sure
What,
about that?
alcoholics who are getting married?
No, not alcoholics. Just people who like weddings are often a
they're
good
parties.
excuse
People
to
are-
be a big party with a bunch of people in fancy gear, take pictures, dance, and like let loose and forget about all your responsibilities.
The weddings I've been to, the bride and groom are like, it's a lot for the bride and groom. There's so many people there for them. You feel like you get like 20, 30 seconds with each people. I've never been to a wedding where the bride and groom are just like going ham at the open bar. And it's just like, it looks like a lot of work to get married to me. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons it doesn't appeal, actually.
Yeah, me neither. It's like a birthday, but like multiplied by 10. Everyone's paying attention to you.
And I
Bringing
hate
you
birthdays.
too many gifts.
Don't do anything for my birthday. Okay, next scenario. Am I the asshole for refusing to eat from my colleague's vegan birthday cake? I'm a 29-year-old woman. I'm working in an office, and I have a colleague who routinely makes fun of vegans. I am vegan, and I never make a fuss about food. I go to the same restaurants as my coworkers during lunch hour, and I can always find myself something to eat without announcing my dietary choices. My coworker B keeps calling me out on it, even though she's very condescending about it. She keeps saying I'm just having a phase, and she keeps offering me bites of her lunch that contain cheese and meat. And when I refuse, she just goes, "Oh, come on, it's vegan, I promise, wink, wink." It's very childish and annoying, and even other people asked her to tone it down, but she insists she's just joking. It's a hilarious joke. Last week
You're
she brought
29 years old.
like, Last week, she brought a homemade cake to the office for her birthday, and when she put a slice down in front of me, I politely thanked her but said I can't eat that. She said the cake is vegan, and she made it specifically so I could eat it. But knowing her very loose definition of vegan, I asked a few questions about the ingredients, and she didn't check any of them for milk or eggs, so I thanked her again, but I refused the slice. She made a big scene out of it. She started crying and saying she just wanted to do something nice for me, and now I ruined her birthday.
Okay, throw the cake in her face.
Some
tired.
colleagues told me not to mind her dramatics, but my boss told me that it was her birthday, and I could have given her cooking the benefit of the doubt. I sort of see his point, but I also feel like I don't need to justify my food choices to anyone, and I never asked her to make the cake vegan for me. Am I the asshole?
How old? Okay. I'm assuming that
We don't need to know the colleague's age. B.
Right. But
What
chances
does she
are
sound like to
they're
you?
probably around the similar age. I don't know.
I mean, we don't know. Does that matter?
I
Why
mean,
does that matter?
maybe she's working with a 16-year-old. So if she's working with a 16-year-old throwing a temper tantrum and being a condescending dick like this, then I could see that happening. Because when you're young, sometimes you just like want to push people like that.
Oh, when I'm picturing this in my head, I'm not picturing this coworker as a 16-year-old.
I guess
Is
it's
that what
like
you're trying to...
the most realistic thing I can think of because it just takes a certain level of immaturity to be like this.
Yeah, there's plenty of old people who are immature.
I know.
Sorry, why are we talking about the age? Like, this is clearly... You don't have to eat anything anyone makes for you.
Yeah.
The social dynamic of... if you didn't previously have reason to think this person was completely disrespectful of your choices, and they had really gone out of their way to make something that you could also enjoy, and you refused it for no reason, yeah, there's a conversation to be had about, you know, if that's impolite. At the end of the day, I think it's your choice what you want to eat, right?
Yeah, and why is the colleague making such a big deal if, like, another colleague of hers won't eat her cake? Like, you're crying about it? Like, you have the problem.
Well, given the colleague's previous comments and jokes, which aren't really jokes, it's just like trying to encourage a vegan to eat non-vegan food. I think there's a good chance this cake is not vegan. I think she's totally warranted.
I think she wants to antagonize her.
Yeah, and maybe even intentionally.
So
like,
then she can
maybe
say, guess what you just ate?
Yeah,
See,
right?
You're fine.
Isn't it delicious?
Yeah,
I told
know.
you you'd like it.
Like, it's such a shithead. That person is the asshole.
Like, I can picture who this person might be.
Who?
Well, no, like, I know the type.
Who is it?
I know the type of
The
person,
type of person, yeah.
who thinks like they know what's best for you, and don't respect your choices, and like, it's this like kind of gross thing where it's like almost like you have to justify what your choices are to them, and if they don't agree with it, they don't respect it. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have people like that in their lives, and it's the worst.
Yeah, I think that the colleague is clearly the asshole, and the poster is not the asshole for not eating their colleague's birthday cake, regardless of the reason. Like, it doesn't even matter. You don't need to eat someone else's cake. And if that causes a temper tantrum, then that person has issues who just had the temper tantrum. Like, who cares? There's so many times where at the office, like, you know, I have colleagues who are celiac or vegan or whatnot or gluten-free, and we will make an effort to try and shop from a bakery that, like, offers those options. And then we'll try and keep a record of which was the gluten-free stuff and which wasn't, and then we let our colleagues know, and it's up to them. And sometimes we bring, like, stuff that the bakery said it was gluten-free, and then they might check online to, like, confirm or whatever. If they decide that maybe it's a little risky for them or whatever, then they just don't have it. Do I cry?
You don't burst into tears when that happens?
I mean, it wasn't my birthday, but, like, I don't think that should matter. It's literally irrelevant. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah. Moving on. Am I the asshole?
I'm just mad.
Am I the asshole for leaving a family gathering because my family made me sit at the kids' table?
I love the kids' table.
What?
I always wanted to sit at the kids' table.
As a kid?
Yeah.
Well,
like,
yeah.
it was just fun. I'm always a kid at heart. Okay, go on.
Okay, for context, I haven't seen my full family together in quite some time, so they said get together at a park today. Family gathering includes me, 22, my brother, 21, my sister, 25, her husband, 29, their two kids, my dad, stepmom, and her kids, 6 and 9, aunt, uncle, two cousins, 15, 20, grandma, and grandpa. I get there with some picnic items, and I see a few members setting up. I say hi, and I help set up the tables and set the food out. We talk and play games while the others show up. When everyone gets there, we sit down to eat. I sit next to my dad, and I get a weird look from my aunt as she says to me, "This is the adults' table." To which I reply, "I am an adult?" ? She tells me that the first and second generations are considered adult, and the third and fourth generation should sit at the kids' table, since we don't have much to contribute to their adult conversations. I tell her that I can drink, I drove here, I pay rent, and I have a job. How am I still a child? She says that until I have kids of my own, I'll have to sit at the kids' table. According to my aunt, there are 8 children, ages 6 to 22, and 8 adults, ages 25 to 75. So I should just sit at the kids' table since it'll be even. But there's plenty of space at the adult table, and I don't want to be stuck with 5 literal children. She still disagrees, and at this point, my uncle and grandparents back her up. So I say, fuck it, I take my quiche back, tell them to have a nice day, and I drive away. I get a few texts telling me to come back, but my dad and grandparents, I ask if my aunt is going to apologize, and they say for what. So that was enough for me to disregard their other messages until I got home, where I am now. I feel shitty that I may have possibly ruined a nice family gathering, but feel my family doesn't respect me at all enough to say that I am still a child and apparently have the same mentality as 6-year-olds. Am I the asshole? Aunt sounds kind of like the colleague from the first.
Maybe it's the same person.
It's the same one. No, if these are the adults, do you want to sit at the adults table?
Yeah, it kind of sound like a bunch of
Cristine
bitches.
Loves the kids table. You might as well
I
just
would
sit
rather
at
sit with the kids. Fuck, we'll play around on Snapchat, Might have more in common. Okay, but I understand her point, especially when you're 22, you're a young person at that age, and you want to, you are doing the adult things in life, and technically, legally, you're an adult. But I think the difference is here is the aunt doesn't see adult as defined by a legal age group. She sees it defined as a stage of life, or that's why she's like the third and the fourth generations of this family at this section of the table.
You're not an adult until you've had children, I guess, by her definition. Even if you're 80 years old.
I guess we're just kids, Ben.
We're kids forever.
We're kids at a table. This is the kids table.
This is the kids table. Forever young. Yeah, that is really weird.
I hate this attitude. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Go on. Mad. I mean, if this was just a way of dividing people up just because that's the way the numbers fell, why do you even... This is so weird. Who cares how the tables are split up? Why do you care so much about the segregation? Can't you just line the tables up and everyone can talk to anyone anyway?
I mean, maybe logistically there had to be 2 tables. That's not impossible from a, table setting perspective. I've been at events where there's been a few tables, and yeah, kids get relegated to 1 table. I just wish the adults, as we call them, should understand that sitting with 6-year-olds is gonna be tough for the 22-year-olds who aren't babysitter. They're not there to babysit the kids, because that's what will end up happening. You're gonna talk to kids who are scribbling in books. No, if you want to make a kids table, there should be an actual kids table where they have coloring crayons and
crayons.
Oh, shut up! Not this again.
Crayons.
Whatever.
Give them crowns.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I think the takeaway here is that the poster is feeling hurt because her aunt is basically telling her that she is not mature and that you're a baby. It's not just about the logistics of which table you're sitting at. Although I'd be annoyed if I'm being sat with 6-year-olds too. I'd be like, excuse me, what the fuck? I don't want to be a babysitter.
Why am I
want to
here?
eat dinner, thanks. But yeah, I've had this attitude in my life where people suggest, when I was, I don't know, in my early 20s, actually, probably around the same age, that I'm not an adult yet. I don't understand what it's like because I'm not a homeowner. And that example was said to me when I had actually purchased my first home, but it was a condo. And I guess in this person's mind, a condo isn't a real house with a family and actual things to take care of. And so I didn't understand what adult responsibilities were. And yeah, that's hurtful to hear as a young person, especially when you know that they're just wrong, because you might be paying a mortgage, bills, you're going to you have a job and all these things that make you an adult beyond just your age.
Yeah, I've met a lot of young people who have more quote-unquote adult responsibilities than some
older
adults I have known in
What
my
does
life.
Miss Auntie do for a living? I would like to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably where the frustration of the posters
Frustration is totally justified to be told you're not an adult.
To be told you're a kid.
At what, 22?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Because she doesn't have kids yet? Because she's not dressing like her auntie yet and it's totally boring yet? I don't know.
Christine's very awkward around children. Would you admit that about yourself?
Around 6-year-olds, I don't really
around very young.
I mean,
children.
I don't want to hang out.
Okay,
That's your question.
If you were at a table with a 6-year-old, a bunch of 6-year-olds, what would you talk to them about?
Nail polish?
Yeah.
I think it depends. I don't blanket me into thinking that I can't talk to any 6-year-old.
Okay.
There's some 6-year-olds who are cool. you know.
I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to have like a dinner party with a bunch of 6-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, just like if you're a young, 20, 30-year-old, whatever, watching, you think about sitting at a table with a 6, a 9, and a 12-year-old. Like, that's not who you speak to on a normal basis. Like, what do you have in common? It would just be weird.
I can't even imagine what those conversations would look like. Maybe it's because we don't have extended family either with children that age.
Would it be all about TikTok? Like, I bet you 6-year-olds are on TikTok.
I'd be like,
these
hey,
days.
you heard of Addison Rae? Like, what would I say? Hey, you guys got any Pokemon cards?
No, see, not Pokemon
not
cards.
even.
It's all TikTok.
You guys like Spider-Man? Do you like Tobey Maguire or the new Spider-Man?
So. No, yeah, I don't think that's what
that doesn't work either.
No.
What else?
It might be like, are you a Charlie or a Dixie fan? Or
okay,
maybe I don't know.
They don't use social media yet, though. You can't talk to a 6-year-old about TikTok, right?
They do.
What are they? They're into like Blue's Clues.
No, Ben.
Bob the Builder?
This is 2021. They're into more.
What are kids? They're watching YouTube. They're watching Rice Gum.
Yes.
Hey, you guys like
Rice Gum?
You guys like Rice Gum?
Yeah. Watch his stream all the time.
I love how misogynistic he is. You guys like Rice Gum?
They don't know what that word means yet. They haven't learned that word in school. Okay. My heart goes out to the poster, though, because I know exactly how she feels, and I guess my advice is to not internalize what Miss Auntie is telling you, because Miss Auntie...
What is this, Auntie?
The aunt, okay. Whatever. I don't know her name. I'm just giving her a name.
Okay.
She doesn't know what's best for you, poster, obviously, and I wouldn't let the aunt's obvious judgment, bias your own life choices and what you think about yourself. So if you wanted to drive the fuck away from this family, because fuck all these people who are judging you, then go do it.
But does this mean you just won't go to family functions anymore?
You'll go to it again, but you will not be disrespected in that way. And I think what happened here is that she felt really disrespected when her aunt was like, you're a kid, go sit with the kids. Maybe paired with other things that the aunt had said to her previously. And I think maybe that's what's happened here. So, yeah, if you feel like you're being subjected to judgment and being told that you're lesser than others in your family, I think that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Okay, moving on. Am I the asshole for bringing home a basic burrito for my partner? I'm a 26-year-old woman. My partner is a 25-year-old guy. Yesterday, I was coming home late because I had dinner with my boss and coworkers. On my way home, I texted my partner asking if he'd like me to pick up anything for him. He said, "Can you get ABC burrito for me, pulled pork?" I texted back, "Heard." I then called the restaurant and asked for a pulled pork burrito. They said it would be ready in 20 minutes. I got there, picked it up, and went home. When I got home, I gave him the burrito, and he asked what was in it as he was opening it up. And I said, "I don't know, whatever comes in a pulled pork burrito." At this point, he asked me if I put anything like jalapenos, guacamole, and I said no, because he just had said pulled pork. He was flabbergasted and asked why I didn't put anything on it. And I said because he literally only said pulled pork and didn't specify what extras he wanted. At this point, he said, "But isn't it common sense to put things in a burrito? I mean, it's like a blank canvas." I was pissed. So I went to a shower, and that turned into a nap, and then I went to bed, so I didn't get to talk to him about it. This morning, when I had some time away from my desk, I texted him saying that I love him, but sometimes he can be really mean, citing last night's comment. At this point, he was irate because he said I had made him feel like a crazy person for expecting toppings on his burrito, that he said reminded him of jail food. He said that if I had asked to bring him home, if I had asked him to bring home a salmon bowl and I hadn't specified toppings, he would have known that I'd get avocado and hot sauce in it because that's how he shows effort as my partner. I said I'd appreciate it if he had done that, but if he had brought home just a plain salmon bowl, I would not have been upset because I didn't specify what I wanted in the bowl. He said he found it hard to believe that I'd be okay with such a plain bowl. And I said that if I ever asked him to pick up some food for me, I'd always tell him exactly what I wanted so we both knew what to expect.
Communication.
Why I'm posting. I said the average person would just get the pulled pork burrito from the restaurant and go home like I did, but he disagreed. This is what he said instead verbatim. Go ahead and ask 10 people if their partner asked for a pulled pork burrito and they have eaten there before, ordered together, and have had enough time with that person to know their preference. Would they opt to just get a meat and rice bean burrito for them with no sauce or anything? We have only been to ABC Burrito one time. We've been dating 2 months.
Okay.
That's the best way to end it.
I'm so confused. Is an ABC burrito code for something? Like anything
I think this is just
but...
a chain.
Oh.
I think this is a chain of burritos.
Okay, because his order was specifically ABC burrito pulled pork.
It's just like, what do you want to eat? ABC burrito. I'm assuming
Oh,
it's just
a
like
place.
saying.
Okay, I thought it was like anything but chili. I don't know. I don't know what ABC means.
I don't think so, unless I'm missing something.
Okay, you buy burritos. You tell me what's
All the time.
Well, more than I do.
Well, I get tacos.
Yes.
I'm more of a taco guy.
Okay, so if I got you tacos that were just pulled pork and nothing else on them, would you be mad? Would you file for common law divorce?
I think there's some obligation on the asking party to specify she is doing him a favor here. Yes. She was bringing him dinner.
And maybe she didn't know. Maybe she just said to the person serving, "Can I get a burrito?" And they're like, "What do you want on it?" And she's like, "Pulled pork." And they're like, "Okay." And they just only did that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you were coming home and said, "Hey, do you want anything to eat?" I would say, "Oh yeah, go to Pure Kitchen and get me a falafel wrap." I wouldn't expect you to necessarily know to ask for no tomatoes or to ask for extra hummus on that thing.
Yeah, but
right?
He's angry because it was only pulled pork, which is like abnormal, I guess.
So
in a burrito.
okay, so if I'm her, I'm probably texting back and saying, "What do you want on it?" Because I agree, it sounds kind of strange to be like just pulled pork and nothing else. But that's if she's being nice. The onus should have been on him to explain what his order actually was. Unless they
stupid.
They've been dating 2 months. That was why I laughed so much at the end, right? Because if you're an old married couple, this is kind of a funny disagreement. If this is someone you've been dating 2 months, this is super bizarre. But like I know if I'm getting you tea, if you ask me to bring you home tea,
yes,
would I bring you home just like a cup of water with just some like peasant tea bag in it? No, right?
What's a peasant tea bag?
Just like the worst kind of tea, and like I would know what kind of teas you like. I know you like a little milk in your tea. Mm-hmm. I know maybe you want a dash of cinnamon if it's a certain kind of tea.
Only if it's a latte.
Maybe it's a tea latte. Exactly. Like
oat milk.
As your partner for many months, not just 2.
Many months.
We've
been together for many months.
We haven't. I would know some of these things.
Sure.
So I can fill in some of the blanks for you.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him. That's a way of sort of showing that you pay attention to what your partner likes.
Yeah.
Right?
But okay, maybe there's a lot on her mind and she doesn't remember if you want this type of rice with this type of sauce. And maybe it was just a misunderstanding and she told the employee at the burrito store, "Can I get a pulled pork burrito?" They didn't ask questions or ask toppings, and they just put this together and wrapped it up.
She may have even assumed that when you order a pulled pork burrito,
it just
maybe
comes with
there are standard
stuff,
ingredients within it.
I think that the guy is unreasonable here for getting so angry and turning this into a whole debate. This is not worth debating.
It's an interesting debate.
I mean, it's a conversation that you could laugh over. Did they really I would laugh if I'm him. I'm like, did the employee literally not ask you that there's anything? And then I would laugh and still eat it.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. It's an interesting debate. If this turns into an argument where you're actually mad at each other, that's either a sign you just have nothing to fight about as a couple, if this is the only thing you're arguing about.
You got to find another burrito.
Or it's a sign you're kind of crazy and this is maybe a 2-month relationship that maybe shouldn't be longer than 2 months if someone's getting mad at you over something like this.
Yeah, this is a silly argument that you should only have if you've been together for 10 years.
If I asked you
yes.
to, I'm trying to think of a good example. You never get me food. I always get you stuff.
That's right.
What do you ever get me?
Birthday presents, apparently.
Not even. That's why I'm so upset all the time.
Oh my God.
What is a kind of food I like? Would you know? Okay, would you know what I want for tacos?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to El Camino in Ottawa.
Okay.
What's my taco order?
Pulled pork. That's it.
They don't have a pulled pork.
Oh, no, that's the other taco place. They have a pork taco.
What taco place do I prefer?
You like El Camino more than the other one.
This is true.
Okay. So there's like a fish one. I don't know which taco place has which taco. Like, I'd have to look at the menu. I can't remember.
Which kind
There's
of
a
hot
chicken
sauce do I
one.
like? The green or red one?
I don't know. The red one?
Trick question. I like both.
Okay, that's not fair. You like all the hot sauces. I don't like hot sauce.
You don't know anything about what I like.
The hot sauce is in the fridge. That's the one you like.
What kind of taco am I eating, Christine?
A fish taco. You also like a beef taco. And you like the chicken taco.
That's true.
Yeah. You
Okay.
like all of them.
I like every taco.
You would be happy with any of them. That's a problem. You wouldn't be mad at me for any order.
I mostly get the fish tacos for you.
Okay.
Because it's fish. Fish is good for you, right?
I like the fish or the chicken. I like all of them. I won't be mad at you. Even if you only put pork on it, I'd still eat it.
Okay, what would you put on
I'd throw it in my garbage
What
bowl.
would you put on my burrito? My Bowser's Big Bean burrito.
Chicken burrito with the fried rice.
Fried rice. Some fusion going on here.
Wait, no, like brown rice. I don't know what kind
you
of
tell
the
me.
rice that goes in burrito. I don't eat burritos. I'd ask the employee because I don't know, and
yeah.
it's fine if you're not an expert in someone else's food choices. I'd just be like, I don't know, give me the standard. What's the best thing you have here? Maybe just look at the menu, get a little bit informed, and ask for like the classic burrito, and then they just throw whatever on.
You don't pay any attention to what I eat, do you?
When's the last time you had a burrito?
I don't know what.
Exactly. So I don't know either, Ben.
This is
Don't
fun.
get mad at me.
I kind of wanted to
now
send.
we're in a fight.
I want to send Christine to restaurants and see
No.
what she would order for me now.
And I can't leave this house. That'd be a challenge video. Making Christine explore the world, get us food, fail. I'd fail all the levels. Okay, next question, please.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my friend her parents bought her house, not her? I'm a 28-year-old woman. I have a friend who's also 28 who purchased a house last year. It's an awesome 2-story townhouse, and I've been over there plenty of times to help out with moving, decorating, and for hanging out. As mentioned in the title, her parents purchased the house for her and her partner. I don't have any issue with this, as the housing market is terrible for buyers, so more power to them for being homeowners. I recently, unfortunately, inherited my parents' house, which is 3-bedroom, out in the sticks.
What's the sticks?
Just out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. The issue is when we went appliance shopping, because most of the stuff in the house was old, we were standing with an employee who I had asked to recommend some smaller items like toasters and kettles when the employee asked if I was moving out. Just general chit-chat. I told him I was moving, and he asked whether I bought or rented, and I told him bought because it was easier and less awkward than telling him I inherited the house. He told me that was cool and began talking about toasters again when my friend cut in that I had inherited the house, not purchased it. The employee went quiet and gave her a weird face. I was kind of taken aback, and she continued saying, "Yeah, I purchased my house," and I asked, "Does it really matter? I'm here to buy some kitchen appliances, not tell this guy my personal issues." She grinned and said, "It's just for the record," which made me more confused and annoyed. I replied, "Okay, then, if it's just for the record, your parents purchased your house for you."
Oh.
Oh.
Clap back.
The employee quickly retreated. She
was like,
walked
"Get
us.
the fuck out."
It's fucking weird.
The employee quit that day.
I caught up with my friend and said, she said I was a massive asshole for pointing out she couldn't afford to own without her parents' help. I returned with a similar, "My parents also helped me getting a house too, just in a really terrible way." That's morbid. My partner agrees with me, saying that she's the one that opened that door, but our friends are split almost 50-50 about who was in the wrong here. Huh.
What? Okay, so it sounds like the poster's friend is bitter
Bitter that
about the fact that her her friend, the poster,
Inherited a house.
and that she had to
Because
to
the
buy
implication is
own
her
house.
parents died, and
I
that's the
know.
only reason she has a house.
Yeah, I know. So it's
You'd be.
it's doubly
What person
terrible.
would be bitter?
That's my point. It's doubly terrible that this person is bitter, given the circumstances of why they inherited it. But still, I think she's just bitter at the surface level because her friend got a free house, regardless of how, and she had to pay for her house. So to make herself feel better, she says, she's reminding her friend, you didn't have to pay for that house. I had to pay for mine. Now I feel better about myself for airing this in the kitchen appliance store. It's an immature response.
My first reaction here is to mostly feel bad for the employee for these two women
What a day at
for
work.
dragging him into this argument about inheriting versus having houses purchased for you. Like this is all kind of
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the two friends need to work something out because
Or just like, why are you friends?
or
if
why
this
are
is
you
the way
or not work something out,
Yeah.
whatever.
Are you friends?
But there's definitely some issues between them. One's bitter,
yeah.
and the other clap back at the bitterness, which is kind of like I get it. Like if someone insulted me for something like that, I might, a reaction might be to clap back in a similar way.
Yeah, like I think the response of like calling her out, embarrassing her in public in the store, I guess there's maybe a little satisfaction in that, but I don't think I would do that. Mostly because I would just feel so awkward about like, again, dragging that like service employee into it. I would mostly be like, oh, this person sucks. Either my friendship is worth, addressing this and explaining why, like that's not okay, or I just don't want to be friends with this person.
There's also some people that think calling others out publicly, and by public in this situation, I mean just in the presence of a third party, is more satisfying because then someone else is hearing this fact. I'm just trying to like get into the head of the other friend who was like, well, you inherited it, so technically you didn't purchase it. So if they're saying that in front of a third arbitrary, random person, it's like making a statement to a member of the jury, almost like as if this was a court. And it's misguided, and it's like unimportant, and it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I think the poster is right. Like I don't want to have to explain to every guy I'm buying a toaster from
you shouldn't.
how I ended up
And
owning a home.
and what does it matter? So I think it's really just that the friend is upset, maybe a little bit jealous that they purchased their house and their friend got given a house.
I mean, if you feel that way after your parents bought you a house, that's pretty unreasonable, right?
No, the other friend. The friend who purchased the house is jealous of the one who inherited the house.
Yeah, but the person who purchased the house, their parents purchased the house for them.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I
they're
missed
bitter
that fact.
about
Yeah.
having someone receiving a house from inheriting it when they were just bought
Well,
they
maybe
both ended up with a house that they inherited essentially.
maybe they technically are on title and their parents just gave them money, so it's still theirs. So they think, I'm not saying this is correct.
Why are we guessing these
Okay, I
details?
don't know. I'm just like trying to like guess what are their brains actually thinking. Who cares? Like, don't shit on your friends or make them feel worse because they have different things than you, less than you, different opportunities than you. And this is all done really in an effort to elevate oneself. And it's just coming from a place of insecurity. Like, don't go out blurting like, well, actually you did this, or you don't have this and I have this. Like, who cares? Are you friends with this person? Okay, well then you don't do that to your friends. Simply is mad.
All right, moving on. Am I the asshole for wanting to walk into my first home without my wife?
Wait,
without my
with
wife.
someone else, or what?
My wife, who's 25, and I'm 27, have been married 6 months. I have a good job in sales, and I've managed to save enough to get a deposit for a house. It is true that my parents have helped me out quite a bit too financially. Oh, another. My wife has not been...
It's not his house. It's his parents' house.
My wife has not been employed very consistently. She has worked as a model, but hasn't saved much at all. I bought the house, and the estate agent handed over the keys to me. My wife wasn't there at the handover. I was obviously super excited to show her the house and for us to start our lives together. We drove up to the house yesterday. I said to her while we sat in the car, is it okay if I go in alone first, just so I can have a moment alone in my first home? I felt that it was a significant moment in my
In
life.
capitals. Significant moment in capitals, SM.
And I wanted to experience it alone, even just for 30 seconds. My wife was upset about this and has been off with me ever since. We have moved some of our stuff in, but she's clearly pissed. I think she's being selfish. My brother says I'm just being ridiculous. Okay, if you
What is he going to do in those 3 seconds? No, I'm just like curious.
just be like, this is a significant moment.
He's just going to beat his chest and be like, this is my house.
Make King Kong noises, yeah.
Before his wife gets there. Mm-hmm.
If you really wanted to do this, dude, just why didn't you do it before? Do it without, like, don't make her wait in the car like she's like your pet. Right?
That
Like,
is kind of what it sounds like.
it's
like,
really strange.
If you wanted to...
Oh,
Okay.
model girlfriend, stay in my car
Like,
while I go into my house.
I can respect, someone out of independence wanting to make an investment or a purchase and then, like, take a moment to, whatever, be grateful for what they have accomplished, if that's the case. But, like, this is your life partner you've chosen to partner with. They've said they're married.
He's chosen to leave her in the car, too.
But, like, this is... No. You wanted to buy a house all by yourself and be able to be like, this is my... You should have done that shit before.
Do you think they have a cohabitation
You're not
agreement?
single, person. Like, you're not single.
Why wouldn't you want to share in that moment?
Yeah,
with
that's
your
what
partner?
I'm,
That's
like, questioning.
the bigger red flag
Because
to me.
he feels like it's his house and he wants to be like, I'm the man. I bought this house and this is my moment. And now you may come in. It's like an establishing of dominance thing. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it. Maybe he's just like selfishly wanting a moment to himself. But either way, I think it's kind of the same sentiment. Like, you want to feel like I did this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just going to, as a result, make your partner feel like they didn't do this.
Would that moment be diminished, though, by, like... If
It
that's the way you
shouldn't
think
be.
in your head, why would it be diminished by having
By sharing.
your model girlfriend walking
Well,
beside
maybe
you?
it's not a girlfriend, it's his wife.
Wife, yeah.
Yeah, so they're obviously, it's a serious
It is
relationship.
really, this is really
This
bizarre.
is, yeah, I think there's some issues there because I can't even imagine, like, not wanting to share something.
Could
with
you imagine? Like, you had more money to contribute to the house than I did when we bought this place.
And I told you to wait
Could
outside.
you imagine if you'd
Said,
been
"Ben,
like,
stay in the car.
I paid X% more than you on the down payment, so I'm going to need 20% more time for the first minute of the house.
Maybe I will. I'm going to ask you to step outside.
We'll make up for it now? Okay.
Yeah, I think this is pretty dumb. And if I were her, I would be very concerned just at, like, how my partner actually feels about me in our relationship. If this is what they're doing to, like, mark a territory, because that's what it feels like. And it's going to make her feel like she's not part of the process of the...
It would be really
the
hard
investment
for
of
it
the
to feel
purchasing.
like you're home after that.
Yeah, if you're told you're not allowed in yet, I just got the keys. Let me just go, like, whack off for 30 minutes by myself, and then you may enter. Well, I don't know what he wants to do by himself. He said he needs a moment with his home alone.
He said 30 seconds. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's all it takes.
All right, last one. Am I the asshole for telling my husband I wasn't feeling comfortable with him wearing shorts around his mom?
Shorts.
I'm a 26-year-old lady, and my husband, 29. We've been married for a few months. His family lives in another town hours away. His mother came to stay with us for a few days after a conflict between her and her husband. Here's the thing. Unlike my in-laws, my family is very conservative. I grew up in a conservative household, and I see stuff at other people's house that can make me uncomfortable. I do my best to be open-minded, but because of my upbringing, old habits sort of die hard. My in-laws are the opposite. They are very open-minded, and my husband is very close to his mother specifically. The issue began when my husband and I were sleeping at 7 a.m. when his mom knocked on the door wanting him to help with something. My husband got out of bed and went to meet her downstairs. I was half asleep, but then I was already awake when he came back into the bedroom. He started talking about an issue with the oven while his mom was trying to make us breakfast. I wasn't paying much attention to what he was saying because I kept wondering how he was able to go outside the bedroom and meet his mom while wearing shorts. I pointed that out, and it somehow made him upset again asking if I was serious. I told him I just didn't feel comfortable with him wearing shorts around his mom. and he lashed out, saying that it wasn't a big deal and found it a bit strange to be uncomfortable with him wearing shorts around his mom since that's his mom. I shrugged and said I can't help but feel this way and suggested he wear pants or jeans since all of them are accessible and take no time to put on. He lashed out, calling me ridiculous and to stop acting as if it was a big deal. We argued back and forth, and then he got extremely upset with me, even though I only asked him not to do that again. He said he didn't appreciate what I said and said, it's my house, I can wear what I want to. Then went downstairs and had breakfast with his mom without even asking
In his shorts.
me to join them. I felt bad because I might have handled this conversation poorly, but I think he refused to listen to what I had to say and just acted dismissively towards my feelings.
Okay, point of clarity. Shorts? Like, shorts isn't what you're wearing? Shorts?
You know, that occurred to me as well, because I almost want to think they might be talking about like wearing boxer shorts.
Like underwear.
And that makes it make a shred more sense, I guess.
Yeah, so my understanding of shorts is like what you're wearing. It's not inappropriate in any religion.
I can wear gym
For the
shorts
most part,
around my mom.
right.
That won't offend you.
No.
No. Could I wear if I was in my
Yeah.
underwear?
I mean, offend is the wrong word. I think the context is kind of what matters. And I'm a little unclear because the story isn't that clear. But it sounds like he got up from sleeping,
Yeah.
maybe in boxer shorts, as many people sleep in, and went to help his parents or his mom with something while still in his sleepwear, right? Is that the story? So, like, he was just helping her with the oven.
Yeah.
It's not like he like got up for the day, got dressed in his boxer shorts, and then said, "Let's go out, mom."
Would even
in
that
his
be
underwear?
weird? Like, yeah, like other than your mom, this guy's mom has probably seen him naked way more than the girlfriend or wife. You know,
I guess the question is, would the
as a baby. I mean,
would the wife be uncomfortable if other family was over? Like if it wasn't the mom, but say there was an aunt, say there was a friend.
you're right. This might just be
also
a weird
uncomfortable?
dynamic with the mom. But that's a good question. Would she react to this if he was wearing those shorts around anyone?
Yeah, I guess like I when you say shorts, I'm like, there's literally nothing wrong with shorts. But if they mean boxer and if they mean underwear, and it's just like maybe in the UK they refer to shorts as like you know what I mean? Like maybe there's something we're missing. Let's just assume they mean literal underwear, like your undergarments, your tidy whities.
Yeah.
Then I guess the test isn't really like who it is, or is it? Right? Like if you're around your partner and they're in your underwear, they're in their underwear, then like, yeah, you live in that house, so who cares? But if family or friends are over, you would expect that you're not wearing your underwear around the house while that you're entertaining. Is that the issue?
I don't know. Maybe I like wearing my underwear around the house.
I mean,
Can I tell you a story?
like I'm not offended. No, but okay, go ahead. Tell it. What story? I'm scared.
I don't think this one needs like a serious response, but I remember we were in Florida visiting your grandmother once, and I couldn't sleep,
Yeah.
and I guess I just got up, and I'm just wearing boxers, like no shirt, nothing, and I guess your sister like woke up and wanted to get a glass of water. And I ran into her in the kitchen. I was like basically naked. And I remember it was really, I'm like, it was pretty awkward.
How dare you, Ben?
I think I really
cares?
spooked her too.
Yeah.
I wonder if she remembers that.
I mean,
should ask her the next time you have
You know
her
what
on.
though? Is it any different than the way you look in a bathing suit?
No,
Which you were around my family in a bathing suit.
that's unacceptable though.
And strangers. You were around strangers in a bathing suit.
This
So
is
like
true.
it's kind of the
Yeah, you're right. I don't see the big deal.
I don't see the big deal. I'm wondering if there's like some other issue with the dynamic between the wife and the mother-in-law that
Maybe.
we're not
I think some people are
really
way more hung up on like the least bit of nudity too than
And I
other.
think it's ultimately up to the person, right? Like the wife doesn't control her husband's short wearing decisions. She controls her own comfort level. So if she doesn't feel comfortable in shorts around people, she doesn't have to wear shorts. But if her husband feels comfortable in shorts around his mother or otherwise, then like that's up to him. Right?
Yes.
It's ultimately up to you. Like, right? That's the right take, right? Like
Yes.
it's up to the person who's wearing it, assuming they're an adult.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to debate here.
Yeah, I don't really know what the issue is, especially if it's like shorts in the way that I understand shorts. Like, what the hell? Maybe it's summer.
All right. I think that's it.
Okay.
Did you have fun? Is that okay? Do you want to wear shorts now?
No.
No. You're not allowed to wear shorts anyway. Okay.
Thanks, man.
We'll
I'm
see
not
you
getting
next
a burrito.
taco.
Who are you going to apologize to?
You should apologize to me for not knowing what kind of burrito I want.
You never order burritos. We only order tacos because it's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be having tacos tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you order. I'm gonna let you order the tacos next time.
What if I mess it up?
Yeah, I'm expecting you
Are you
to.
going to write on Reddit? My common law partner
gonna be posting
didn't
soon.
know what to order for tacos
Common law
after
partner.
9 years of living together. I always order the tacos. She never orders the tacos.
It's really opening my eyes. You know, I know what kind of tea to bring you. I know what kind of tacos you like. Do you know anything about me?
Hummus, bananas, Fiji water. That's it. That's all there is.
That's all you need
Donkey
to know.
Kong.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Taco Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.